Check, one, two, check, one, two, check, 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 check. Check, one, two, check, one, two, check. 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 Turn
So you're pulling directly from the mixing board, not from that middle, right?
I'm doing one channel each, not both. There's one from the board, because then if someone's talking without using the
No,
mic.
that's fine, that's fine. I just want to make sure we're getting input from the,
Yeah, I'm doing one from each, so.
okay, I just want to make sure we're getting.
I'm gonna go set up in the, or do you want to take my computer and go set up in the?
I can talk. I just want to make sure we've got nice, good signal that people can hear it. Because nobody can't turn off the computer necessarily as loud as we can hear.
All right, go ahead and start talking. I'm gonna go stand up there.
Check. Check one. Check. Check one. Check. Check one. Check one, two. Check one. One, two. Check. I'm trying to slow down just a hair. Check one. Check. Check. Check one. Check one. Wait a minute. Why is that thing? I'm just checking the EQ. Why is the lows so high on? Shouldn't you have these about the same? Not. Check one, one. Check one, two. Check. Check one, one, two. Check. Check one. Check one. Check. You hear that like chirping? Check one, two. Check. Check one.
It's coming from the headphones over here.
Oh, is that where it's coming from?
Yeah.
Check.
Because
Feedback.
that's what it sounds like. No, it just sounds like garbage or something.
Check one. One, two. Check one.
Is that from that laptop?
Yeah, it's coming from my laptop.
Yeah. Okay, your laptop definitely has got issues. Go find an empty classroom and use the podium in there that you get, you know you've got good output. Does that?
How does it sound for you? Isn't making that weird like scratching noise?
No. Is that the same idea?
No.
Can you go to one of the classrooms, put up the podium and connect to the live stream? I want to make sure the audio is everything is clean. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I can't test with this machine.
Hey. How do I use the flash?
Check one. Check. Hey, are we muted on this one? Check one. One. Check. Oh, it's just really. Check. Three. Check one. One, two. Check one. One, two. Check one. One, two. Check. You know what?
It's popping a lot.
What causes that?
Well, it looks like it's peaking in the stream.
All right, then you'll need to pull the stream. See, that's the problem with doing two audio sources.
Check one. Check. one, two, check one. Check one.
You want a studio?
Check one, two. How do you know if it's speaking?
No, it's nothing. All right, talk again.
Check one, two. It's that mic.
Yeah, that's peeing us out.
So let me turn it almost to the bottom.
Check one, check one. Check one, one, two. Check,
Is it getting too
check
hot?
one.
The snack bar will close in 5 minutes.
How's it looking there for you? The one, I want to plug it from the camera. That's easier. Check 1, 2. Cool. All right, that's what I wanted. Yeah, it's because there's. Okay, check 1, 2, check 1, 2, check 1, 2. If you want both audio sources to come from the same spot, I just copy this one and have input 2 be the source for input 1 and 2, and that way we'll just have the exact same signal sent twice. Okay. Yep. Gotcha. Hello. Check 1, 2. Gonna keep talking until someone tells me that this isn't working. Do 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 do. Still talking. Man, I got nothing to talk about. What? Okay, there we go. It's still there. You know, testing stuff is interesting. Okay, so that's probably unnecessary to mess with that too much. Gonna bring that up. Gonna lower that a bit. Hopefully this sounds fine. Daniel, I don't know what if you can hear any of this yet, but please let me know how this sounds. I'm gonna switch over the audio channel here in a second. Switching. Hold on. Well, that's one reason. Okay, so this should improve the problem. What the heck? Okay, let's go turn stuff up. Okay, that's both levels are about a little bit above medium now. Should be getting about equal sound. Yeah, so everything's coming from the mics. That's why these. No, I also switched it to, for some reason, I don't know. I know that's not how that was the last time I used it. I'm just gonna make sure the stream sounds all right by going to the stream here. Since it's about like a 15-second delay. Oh wait, I can't. Do I have it pulled up still? Oh my. Sorry everyone. I'm testing the microphone. Apologies. Oh, and that's not the right thing. Checking one last time for the test in 112B, making sure that is working for you. Everything should be all set over there. Hopefully you can hear stuff. Check 1 2, check 1 2, check, 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 check.
Check one. Check one. Check. 9. Come on. Check one. Check one. Check one. Check. Check. Check one. Check. Check one. Check.
Check 1, check 2, check 3, check 4, check 1 2, raising the volume up. Check 1 2, check 1 2, check. Check microphone. Checking 1 2 3 4 5. Check 1 2.
Check one.
Check 1 2, check 1 2, check.
Check. Check one. Check. Check.
Yeah, I said we finally, so we need to nail these things down. So I kind of pushed that last message out to say, where are we?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It kind of, but I'm sort of glad there was a delay because we did get some more feedback. And we discussed it more at the last department meeting. So people have had their opportunity to put things in. I remember when I was writing. Okay. We're not on yet, so I just want to tell you I haven't left.
Check one.
You would never do that.
Check one. This one's turned down too low. Check one. Do you see the? You're gonna have to once you get the recording going, get the audio going, get that going. You're gonna have to stand here at least.
Everything's all discombobulated, Ann.
Oh, no, do you have chocolate in there?
I do.
Okay.
Well, I got it.
I'll say that.
Exactly. That's how you do it, Ann. I gotta be careful. I got a new crown. I had a crown yesterday. I'm now in that era of my life where I'm replacing all the dental what my dad did for me when I was in college. So I almost every month I do all the work that we had done. It's clean and we did great. 40 years. The last 40 years. I just this year had a filling. It's a great question.
If we could get everyone to take their seats. I want to welcome everybody to the Leadership Council. We've got a great show lined up for you today. Got some fresh talent along with some acts that we've had a lot of requests to bring back. So looking forward to that. We've got a series, obviously, of folks coming up to talk about a number of different things. And then depending on the time, depending on how we end on time, we can do a quick kind of lightning round updates for folks if they so desire. So with that, I think we're going to go ahead and step in. And our first act is Miss Ann Lyons to talk about the Faculty Recognition Awards, or Fall Recognition Awards.
Thank you, John. And I think Jessica Thompson's going to join me as well. She was hoping to announce the Fall Recognition Award winners for the classified and part-time staff at the meeting earlier this week, but like many other meetings, they ran out of time. So she's going to join me today. So I've been up here before, so as you know, the recognition awards are given to employees who have exhibited a commitment to excellence. And the individuals have been observed as going above and beyond their job responsibilities and have provided exceptional support to students, and that support has contributed to their success. In addition to receiving a GCC Best ribbon and a certificate, each recipient will be able to select a gift from a catalog. So I wanted to announce, these are actually from last fall, but we didn't meet in December. So the first recognition award winner today is going to Veronica Curry. And within the nomination form, a student said, Miss Curry is always there when I need help with anything, no matter what. She is always there for me if I need to talk to her about things going on in my life. Okay, let me give you this, Veronica. This is for you, and a hug. And let me give you Isn't this beautiful? See? So thank you, Veronica. All right. And as you know from the many, many emails I send out to you, recognition awards nominations can be submitted by anybody from any employee group as well as students. And today's recipients were all nominated by students. The second award, and I don't know if I see her here, is Katie Denner here? No. All right. Well, we're going to clap for her anyway. She's at an event. Okay. Well, within the nomination form, a student said, Ms. Denner fully understands the needs of nursing students and is one of our biggest fans and great supporters. If she doesn't know the solution to a situation, she seeks out the proper course of action and helps us navigate the turbulent waters. Ms. Denner is the best. So I wanted to read that to all of you, and we'll make sure she gets her ribbon and certificate. So the next recognition award is being given to Heather Adritto. Is Heather here? I believe Heather was brought here today under false pretenses. Murray's pretty good at that, right? Yeah. We're pretty good, right? All right. So a student said within the nomination form, Heather has been an angel. I recently moved to Virginia, and I was stuck as to where to go with my career. She has been so patient and has provided me with resources that have helped me. Just talking with her while planning my career has given me so much confidence. So thank you very much, Heather. Oops, sorry. And, yeah, we're pretty good, Murray, right? All right, and the last recognition award winner, and do I see Melody Crenshaw here? She's also, oh, she's ill. I'm so sorry. Well, I want to read to you what a student said about Melody. Within the nomination form, a student said, Ms. Crenshaw has gone above and beyond when it comes to answering the many questions I have had this year. She's consistently willing to research and advocate for students, and she's one of the most positive and helpful staff members at Germanna. So let's give a hand for Melody. So we'll make sure that they both get those. And then Jessica would like to announce the award winners from the classified times.
Yes, and unfortunately, a lot of them aren't going to be here, but their supervisors, I think, are here, and we'll be happy to hear this. The first one goes to Delonda Pretty. It says, to recognize your initiative and commitment to GCC and testing services. This is demonstrated by your mentoring of your employees, your rapport with professors, and by your calm, positive, and professional attitude. So that was nice. Yay! The next one, Julie Barnstead. To recognize your commitment to student success by doing whatever it takes to get the job done, staying late, and doing everything in your power to make students get their aid on time. What? That's important. Next, we have Quanda Elliott. To recognize your exceptional customer service, helping students understand their accounts and breaking down barriers when it comes to paying for college. We love that. Thank you. This person is no longer classified, but when he was, Kelly Rudnick. To recognize your persistence and dedication by working for over a year to provide internet access at the dental clinic. I wonder who wrote this. This allows GCC and Moss employees to work more efficiently and effectively. Yay for Kelly. Thank you, Ann. Okay, Cindy Sanchez. To recognize your persistence and dedication by working for over a year, once again, to provide internet access at the dental clinic. This allows GCC and Moss employees to work more effectively. Woo! Okay, next we have Tom Stanley. To recognize your support of your colleagues that goes above and beyond. This extends to assisting with cars that won't start, to critter patrol duties. Locust Grove fun, yes. Oh, here's another Locust Grove, Pat Iliano. To recognize your commitment to excellence by going above and beyond to assist Germanna students. In addition to welcoming and assisting students at Locust Grove campus, Pat also assists students at the Daniel Technology Center and Coffeewood. Yay! All right, now this person's in the room. Can we guess who it is? It's another helper at the dental clinic. To recognize your persistence and dedication for working over a year to provide internet access, Daniel Berman.
Daniel doesn't like to get attention. Well, congratulations to all the recipients of the Fall Recognition Awards, and they're a little late since we're just about in February. Did anyone receive an email message from me this week? No? I'm sorry for sending it to all Germanna, but I'm really trying to reach all employee groups. It doesn't matter if you're in administrative and professional or classified or teaching faculty. You can nominate anyone, just as someone in the dental clinic seems to have done. I have to say, I'm one of the co-chairs for the administrative and professional group, and I have to say, we do not receive a lot of nominations from this group in this room. And I know you know how hard everybody works. So in addition to the recognition awards that we'll be giving out at the end of this semester, we'll also be giving out the monetary annual awards, okay? I really encourage you to take the time. The reason I sent that email out to you is because the description of the awards include hyperlinks. So I know how busy you are. You can click on the hyperlink. It will take you directly to the nomination form, right? And it really doesn't take that long. So please complete some nomination forms for recognition awards and annual awards across all employee categories, because it just makes people feel great, as though they're appreciated. So congratulations again to all the recipients of today's awards.
Thank you, Ann. Next is going to be looks like a second reading of the college diversity statement. And is William, are you reading that? Okay, great.
This is the second reading of the college diversity statement. I believe it was presented maybe 2 leadership meetings ago, so I wanted to read it aloud for any more feedback. The statement reads, diversity and inclusion are the core values of Germanna Community College. We recognize our responsibility to create, maintain, and nurture an academic and social environment that respects the diversity of people and ideas. We are committed to being an inclusive community that respects all cultures, experiences, and abilities, and that prepares individuals to thrive in a global society. Sounds perfect. Anybody have any feedback?
Just one suggestion, maybe diversity, equity, and inclusion. Would that be possible? First sentence.
At the very top? We can consider that for sure. Thank you. Yes.
Bill, diversity and inclusion are the core values. Diversity and inclusion are core values. There are, I would argue there are other core values, perhaps, like integrity and other kinds of things. Do we want to say diversity and inclusion are the core values or our core values? Our core values. Our core values? Yeah.
So we're working on that first sentence, right?
Yeah.
So diversity, equity, and inclusion are our core values? Okay. Our core. I see. Right. Okay. Any other feedback? This is really helpful. What we're talking, removing the and adding equity. Or equality. Equity? Equity. Yep. Got a couple more sentences we can add some words to. Okay. So I imagine, remind me what the process is. We'll take this back and do a third reading now? Or can we? Okay.
Yeah. So yes, as amended.
Okay. Let's hear from an expert.
Well, my colleague here and I are voting for some Oxford commas in there.
Okay.
Woo! Oxford comma! And
Okay.
don't quote Vampire Weekend to me. No, there's not.
Okay, so we got some Oxford commas. So I'm an AP guy. Yeah.
After maintaining.
Yep. Yep.
So a few commas.
And I see where those go. Okay. So are we comfortable with a vote on moving this forward with the amendments we've talked about?
Yes.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? we've got work done today. Great.
All right, what's next? Next is the second reading of the service animal policy by Wynn Stevens. Wynn?
So we had a question on the floor the first time by Dr. Wesley about is it more than just dogs that can be service animals? So I checked with the BCCS and they said it was up to us on what we consider to be emotional support animals. Sorry. So we decided that we want to stick with just dogs as emotional support animals. In the highlighted section on page 3, you can see no tarantulas or snakes. If you go down the road, oh, yep. And that's the statement there for emotional support animals. And so people can only have emotional support animals with appropriate documentation. And that was the change. We took out miniature horses because we did have miniature horses at one time, and we took that out. So that was the only change of removing miniature horses as support animals. And we changed some of the verbiage to make it say Office of Disability Services. So those are our only changes. So if there are any questions, any objections, there's hands. There's hands. I don't want, no. I'm just joking. Go ahead. Any.
Yeah, I just have a question. I'm a little concerned because I feel like I was reading it and it was talking about therapy dogs not being, and so I'm like, but we always do therapy dogs, so how is this going to
So
affect
therapy
us?
dogs have been blessed by the chief that we can do our therapy dogs at the times that we do them. So that has been blessed by the chief as yes. But they're not allowed on campus other than our programs.
Wayne, I just had a question
Sure.
for you, and maybe I missed it. I looked for this. We do have some employees who have very severe allergies that work in our center. What do we do if you have an employee who has severe allergies and a student needs to seek services? Do you make arrangements to go somewhere else then?
You would make arrangements to go somewhere else because if the
Okay.
person has a service animal, by law, they have to be there, right?
Okay.
And
I
so we
just
would just
wanted
make
clarity on that.
Yeah, we could. Go ahead.
Okay. And I guess if that came to a professor, you'd just put somebody in a different room then. in
We'll just,
another classroom.
that would be something I would take up with the dean about probably
Okay.
just moving the student to a different room. But if
Okay.
it's a class that the student has to have, then that would be a different conversation of how we do it.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I'm not an English professor, but you need an S on animals are not permitted.
Okay, we'll get it wordsmith just one more time before it goes forward. I appreciate that. All right, so can we move this forward as amended? Is that any other abstentions? So we're all good, so I can get, so yes? All in favor, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you. Oh, you had your hand up when you're...
We'll now have another second reading of the online/2.0 GPA policy from Anita Newhouse.
Okay, hi everyone. This is the second reading for the academic standing policy about removing the 2.0 prerequisite GPA for online classes. So in the policy, the line that's struck out here Good academic standing. Students are considered to be in good academic standing if they maintain a minimum grade point average of 2.0 per semester, are eligible to re-enroll at the college, and are not academic suspension or dismissal status. We are proposing to remove students should maintain a cumulative GPA of 2.0 in order to take online classes. And then down a little bit, there's just another part in here. Under academic warning, students who fail to attain a minimum GPA of 2.0 for any semester shall receive an academic warning. The statement academic warning will be printed on the student's record. Students on academic warning are encouraged to meet with their academic and/or their faculty advisor to develop a plan for success. And then we're going to strike this out as what we're proposing, and are not eligible to take online classes if their cumulative GPA is below 2.0 unless approved by the appropriate dean of instruction. So this one's pretty easy. Does anyone have any questions or comments? All opposed? Negative first, and all in favor? Everybody? Okay, thank you.
Go ahead. Is Aaron here? Oh, there. Okay. To talk about the reading on the student policy review. First reading.
Aaron,
Way to go,
use this
Anita.
one.
You're running for everybody. This is why we can't have nice things.
It's going to be basically the same one as you just did. So we kind of, me and Anita basically had the same policy that we were looking at. A group of us about a year ago started looking at all the student success policies. So one of the ones that she presented on specifically was also part of ours. So what she just said, I'll just repeat what she just said. It's up there. It's removing the 2.0 requirement to be able to take online courses. And that was the only change that we had to this policy.
Just asking questions for my clarification. What is the reason for removing 2.0? Online classes can be challenging for students.
Right, so our thinking is the integrity of the online or the in-person courses is the same, the structure of the courses, so why would we have a different policy for online than we would for in-person?
And there are a lot of students that are in other states or in the military that can't be here in person and have a lower than 2.0 GPA, but they work closely with a counselor or an advisor to make sure that that's successful.
So it's to be consistency between in-class and online.
Correct. Yeah, same standard for both. Do the door enrollment. So the next is our dual enrollment policy, and Tim, if you have anything that you want to add as I'm speaking, feel free to. This one, we took what was in the VCCS policy manual and all the strike-throughs we just replaced with that updated version, so really it's nothing Germana-based, it's all what the VCCS already has in policy, and so we just copy and paste it, and then it's up there for your review. This will scroll down. Yeah, they can just kind of see what the strike-throughs are. Is there any questions on that from your reading earlier in the week or from what she's showing you now? Right, it's just taking some of our outdated information and replacing it with the VCCS is requiring. Student grievance procedures. Sorry, that's second. Yeah, thank you. So this one, Dr. Gray and the group reviewed our current policy for the grievance procedures, and added more of a structure to it, more of a timeline for when the different levels of the review groups meet, what is allowed from the students to be able to submit as a grievance, tighten up some of just the wording of it to make it more clear and concise for the students, but also for those that are doing the review of the policy, sorry, the review of the students' appeals. And you can just kind of scroll through that as well. Yeah. Did anybody have a chance to look at this or have any questions about this when you reviewed it before? It has been blessed by the department chairs and the faculty senate, so our first two groups were happy enough with it at least. And if there are no questions on that one, we will move on to the fourth policy. Last one. And can you scroll down to page 2, please? So this is our current policy for the academic suspension. And then you can just keep scrolling down through. So not quite as detailed as we wanted it to be. So if you want to scroll back up to the first page, please. The proposed policy just kind of keeps it consistent with the structure of the other policies that we have, laying out the policy itself, what the procedure is. Also, you can see there in red that the students will be readmitted to their previous program of study, except for programs with the selective admissions process. So that's an addition to the policy for those that are competitive programs, they have to go back through the actual process itself, not being guaranteed admission into those. Any questions on that one? Okay. And then go to the last policy for the tuition refund. And then this is regarding tuition refund for military students. So it falls in line with our current refund process for non-military students, but then also adds some of the requirements that the state and the federal folks have for the students that are receiving either the GI Bill or that are being called up to active duty, what the process is for their withdrawal, if they want to keep their money, have their monies returned to them, what we do with their grades, their enrollment and such. And this is other colleges that have gone through this recently with their submitting this type of a policy to the state approving agency. We just use their policies and combine it with some of the Germana process, and there you have it. And if there are no other questions on that one, I will give it back to John.
So this was a first reading. If you have comments, whatnot, people can forward those to you. Okay, thank you. And then we'll be back next month with the second reading. Okay, great. Oh, she's back again. What's that? You won't cut it off, okay. Anita for a first reading of the proposed schedule change.
And before I get to the proposed schedule changes, I actually wanted to go back to one more policy change that I'm bringing in for the first reading. Could you do, yes, I think it's the map. Do this one first. Yeah. It's the one Aaron just had up. So Aaron just had this policy up as well, but on the admissions standpoint, I wanted to bring to everyone's attention with this first reading that currently with the academic reinstatement process, there's a 60 business day time frame in which we get back to the students after the committee has reviewed the student's petition, and the proposal is for that to be changed to 30 days, 30 business days. Does anybody have any questions about that? That is a good one. No other comments? Okay, so if anyone does have any comments, please feel free to forward them to me, and then we will, I guess, have a second reading, or if there's no comments, do you vote on it? Or do you have to do a second reading?
Do a second reading.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm new at this, thank you. Okay, so the next one is a little bit more detailed. This is going to be on the flexible schedule proposal. As you guys know, we had, over the summer, we tried having 4 10-hour days. We closed at noon on Fridays. And this worked well for a lot of different departments, but it also posed a lot of problems for other departments when it comes to coverage, especially those who are on the front line and short-staffed. So I am going to read to everyone the calendar committee's proposal of changes to our, not only our operational hours, but also our service hours. And then just feel free to ask any questions that you have. So to begin with, the calendar committee has met the following recommendations for the flexible schedule and service hours as recognition and of the dedicated faculty and staff at Germanna. So the first proposal, the college should have expanded hours on the week prior to and during the week, I can't talk today, the week prior to and the first week at the start of each term. If anybody's been here early, Ann Lyons, I know wherever you are, you've been here very, very early, the first week of classes. There are students here as early as 7:30 and sometimes even earlier than that. And having people there to greet them just makes them feel more comfortable, especially their first and second days. So we are proposing that the week prior to classes starting and the first week of classes that we're open 7:30 to 7 at Fredericksburg. So this wouldn't impact the other locations, just Fredericksburg. We are proposing the service hours and operational hours on Monday through Thursday expand to 7:30 to 6, and that's just here at Fredericksburg. So we'd open at 7:30 Monday through Thursday, and we would close at 6 instead of 7 as we do now. And then service hours on Fridays would be 8:30 to 3, and operational hours would remain 8:30 to 5. In a second, I'm going to go over the service hours versus operational hours. So the fourth proposal, pre-scheduled community-wide events, VCCS meetings, and faculty training would take priority and release will be subject, so the release time will be subject to the discretion of the department leaders and managers. So the operational hours are those that we are open and that our departments are open. We're still staffing them, but the service hours are the hours that we're available to see students. So the proposal is at Fredericksburg, Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 6, Friday, 8:30 to 5. And then Locust Grove, Culpeper, and Stafford, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. The big difference there being we've been open till 7 on Mondays and Thursdays, and I would probably say everyone who's worked at any of those locations on a Monday or Thursday night, we rarely see students, and it's better to be there when the students are there. And then at FredCat, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30 would be the operational hours. And the proposed service hours, so those in which we're seeing students, at Fredericksburg, Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 6, Friday, 8:30 to 3, so we would be able to close at 3, but still operationally be there until 5. And then at Locust Grove, Culpeper, Stafford, FredCat, Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 5, Friday, 8:30 to 3. And I'm going to go to the second page because that has some definitions that I think would help make this a little bit more clear. So service hours, hours in which students can be checked in for assistance with registration, admissions, advising, veteran services, financial aid, and the cashier window. Operational hours, hours where Germanna employees are expected to or able to be at work. And then the considerations that we want to make sure that everybody has is that individual managers can flex the hours for their department, allowing for a half-day schedule or a shorter day on Friday or 4/10s and then a day off on Friday. But that's up to that manager and leader of that department. If the staffing doesn't allow it, that's not something that they have to make available. But if they're able to, it's something that we want to look at. Managers will be responsible for ensuring service is available during standard service hours and will not allow flex time that would compromise student or community service. Managers may choose not to allow flex time in the service for students or the community could not, if the support for students and community could not be supported. And then senior leadership will be provided with a summary of student engagement with services via a Navigate report by location, so that later a robust discussion can occur when students need services. So Navigate allows us to look at the busiest times, the times when we're not as busy, and really make informed, data-driven decisions. I'm going to pause for a second and see if anybody has any questions. Yes, ma'am.
For item number 1, Anita, the week prior and the week during, are we including Stafford as the document says? Because I think you mentioned Fredericksburg only for the extended hours, expanded hours.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you think that that's good for Stafford?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yes, it is number 2 that's at Fredericksburg only, the 6 o'clock. Jessica, does anybody else have questions? Hi, Laura.
In the calendar committee, it was discussed a couple months ago that the cashier window would not need to be open those hours. So, but at the end in the definition, it included the cashier window.
What hours did you guys discuss? And I could just bring it back to the...
At Stafford, we're 9 to 5, Monday through Thursday. And I don't think they were going to put it on there, but Sherry had said that because we have the tablets, we could keep our hours because we can't staff those windows, those hours, and we would be the 8:30 to 6 in Fredericksburg.
Okay. Jessica?
I just, for clarity, last summer we did the flex hours was only for the summer. Is this for each semester or just the summer?
I think this is going to be for each semester. And anybody else that's on the committee, you can speak to that piece?
Year-round.
Year-round.
Yep.
But keep in mind, you don't have to do any of these suggestions. So if it compromises coverage or student service, then we don't have to do that. But if we're able to, and it's a benefit we can offer our employees, then we want to take a look at that.
So we're not required, because right now we stay open till 7 o'clock Monday through Thursday, because we have so many students who peel off 95 and come in and need help. And we open up at 8 o'clock in the morning, but it's hard then to switch it to 7:30. The students wouldn't be coming in for academic support at 7:30 in the morning, but they pour in between 5 and 7 in the evening. So it's up to us to do that? Okay.
The good thing about the Fridays is it would give us an opportunity to have meetings that we don't get to have now, especially if you're on the front line. It's like pulling teeth for us to get everybody from all the locations together, so it may be the same for others. Yes, ma'am.
So just from my understanding, with the flex hours, I hear that some areas may not do it. So how is this communicated if I'm a student? How would I know?
The student wouldn't, because either way, we're going to have someone there to cover the hours. We're going to have to advertise the 7:30 to 6 or the 7:30 to 7. And prior to this, we haven't. So now we want to let them know that we are here that week before classes start in the first week, when right now we've just kind of been trying it the last couple semesters. So we'll have to work with marketing to make sure that the new operational hours are advertised.
But I thought Ann said she is here for till 7, Monday through Thursday. Is that what I heard you say?
I feel like it's focused more on like admissions, financial aid, the cashier window, so more of the student services areas. So I don't think that Ann would have to change those hours. I think those would stay the same. It would just be the... Right.
All right, just so long as it's communicated so we know the hours, because if I'm a faculty member and
Sure.
I need to have a student go somewhere, I need to make sure I know the hours.
Absolutely.
But it just seems like there's flexibility among flexibility among flexibility.
I think the biggest differences are the evenings changing from 7 to 6, but being open an hour earlier when we have students who are waiting outside the Welcome Center so that we can see them earlier instead of having them wait until someone gets there at 8:30. And then the Fridays closing at 3, but still staffing till 5.
I really feel like those are the biggest differences. Yes, Marie?
So down a little bit lower, I think it was, where it talked about the student and community service, I would add employee as well. I mean, it doesn't change anything, but in fact, sometimes having those shorter hours impacts employees.
Absolutely.
Anita?
Yes, ma'am.
I know testing wasn't included in there, but we will probably do regular hours of operation, and I guess somehow it needs to be communicated on the website, because we're open till 8 o'clock, Monday through Thursday at Fredericksburg.
That's a good point, because there was a time when we were changing the hours and everybody thought that testing was
Yes.
closing too, and that definitely created great concern.
Yeah, because we open at 8 a.m. and close at 7:45 p.m.
Some testing too.
And also, Locust Grove opens at 9 because we don't have that many students coming from the 8 to 9 o'clock a.m. hour for testing at Locust
I think
Grove.
the important thing is just making sure, that we have, like Sherlyn said, communicating it and making sure everybody's aware. Anybody else have questions, concerns?
Okay, one thing, how are we going to communicate if, for instance, my department keep the hours as it is, starting from 8 o'clock, but if you advertise it from 7:30, are we going to say certain department is this hour and other departments other hour? How are you going to communicate this to the students?
I think it's kind of like that now, though. I mean, different departments have different hours. So I think it's just a matter of us making sure that they're posted visibly and updated on each department's website where they already reside. It's okay, go ahead.
I mean, we do have it currently on the website.
Sure.
Every time we change hours, like holidays or special things happening, we put it up on the website. But overall, I'm talking about overall how we can be consistent to communicate with the students. That's what I'm saying.
And you mean aside from this policy proposal, like how can we be better at communicating to students the different departments' hours? I agree. We definitely need to do that. Right. So I'll bring that back to the committee as well, just so that we can talk about it for sure, because that's a good point. Pam, you got to get your microphone.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure this out. The operational hours for Fredericksburg, the Monday through Thursdays till 6, and the operational was how long a student could be, or people would be, had to be at work, and then the service hours were when you could check somebody in. They both go to 6, so if a student comes in and they're checked in at 6, but the operational hours also end at 6, I'm not understanding, because somebody would be there working past 6 to do that.
It's kind of the same as now. So if we close at 7 now, it's both the operational and the service hours.
Okay.
So it would be the same thing.
So
we'll have to work on when we check students in, kind of like we do now when we're triaging. We have to monitor the line.
Right, because if you really are expecting employees only to stay till 6, you end up having to check in people for services earlier than 6.
Right.
Not until 6.
And I think that word is right. We have to make sure it's that we're open until a certain time versus we help students until.
Right.
Yeah.
And then my other question had to do with adult students, because I know we have an initiative going to try and have more services for adult students and special programming for adult students, which may put people coming in the afternoon on Friday, and a lot of our classes start at 7, so we know a lot of our adult students are coming in around 6:30, quarter to 7.
I think that's a good point, especially with 5G.
Right, so I was wondering how it would fit with the college initiative to provide the services and the classes to attract adult students.
Yes. And we definitely want to do that. So John, we need someone to work the hours after these proposed hours. I'm just teasing. But I'll bring that back as well.
So why don't we just all work all 24 hours a day?
We do.
That'll work.
Doesn't everybody in here do that already? Anybody else have any questions, comments? Okay, so we're going to bring the feedback back to the calendar committee, and then we'll bring it back here for a second reading. But after everyone kind of digests this, what was sent out, there was a tweak made, so I'm going to send it back out to everybody, and then feel free to send me any comments or suggestions or anything that you have. Thank you. Oh, I'm not cutting it off.
Thanks, Anita. Okay, and now we have Human Resources to talk about the promotions and multi-year appointments policy. This is the second reading of this, so I'll turn it over to Lloyd Bourne. Then there'll be a third, I'm told.
Enough copies? I brought more.
Yeah, this was sent out this morning, so there are copies in the middle of the table.
My arm's not button on. I'm fabulous, but I'm not tall.
Good afternoon. I'm going to talk about promotions and multi-year appointments today. And since the first reading for promotions, we've got quite a few changes.
That was a good change.
Some are quite substantial.
What did you do to those microphones?
I'm kidding.
So some of those changes were quite substantial, so we will have a third reading for the promotions policy. What we did from the last meeting we had, from the first reading, we went out and we got feedback from constituents, and we had meetings, and we really wanted to remove some of the constraints or limitations for people to be qualified for a promotion. So we'll go through the first change, and I think this is definitely going to reduce the constraints. If you will pull out your VCCS 29, I think this is going to be a helpful tool at this point. It's in your package. Can you get it up here or not? As in the past, we have required that only the graduate hours in the teaching field or discipline count towards promotion. That is not going to change, but the leeway we will have is that the degrees earned may be in other fields outside of the teaching discipline. So what I mean by that is, let's look at this one right here. It's going to be column 1 for assistant professor. And it says a master's plus 24 graduate semester hours obtained subsequent to the master's.
The other one, yeah.
Did you let Anita touch that one too?
Can you hear me? There we go. All right. Master's plus 24 semester hours obtained to the master's for a total of 27 graduate semester hours in the teaching field. So where we don't have leeway based on VCCS policy and guidelines, we have to maintain the 27 graduate semester hours in the teaching field. So we don't have leeway there. But what we can do is someone can have a master's degree, whatever degree is associated with each one of these boxes,
the degrees earned may be in other fields outside of the teaching field. So that was a little more leeway. I know at one time we were looking to expand the definition of teaching field, but when we went back to BCC, maybe turn off your cell phones. Oh, maybe that will help. Okay, so any questions about that? Because I know that is a significant change. We've done 2, I think. Graduate hours. Have I covered that? I don't know if I covered that section. It takes a second. Try again. It might be that it takes a second to initiate.
All right, so my question is on the B1 and then the II. It's more of a wording thing because I know what we're trying to say is that the required number of graduate credits in the teaching field are more accumulative. So if they have 21 graduate credits in their masters, and then they receive the additional graduate credits, and only 3 more of those are in the teaching field, that would still fulfill the 24 graduate credits. My concern is with the words "only" and "count toward promotion." It's making it sound like regardless of what you get the degree in, which is what the I requires, was looking at. That II is sitting here saying that we're not really going to count any of those other graduate credits for the promotion when, yeah, okay, because it's, yeah, yes, yeah. Well, it's not even the additional. It's more. If we actually look at the VCCS 29, it's more of the accumulative. As long as you have so many graduate credit hours in that field, if you already go in with the 27 credit hours in the teaching field, yeah, subsequent to the masters. Okay, so what we're looking at is at 27 graduate credits. We're basically looking at another master's in the teaching field is pretty much going to be required. Okay, but because what I'm reading here is for a total of in the VCCS 29 for a total of 27. So it's you get your master's degree in the teaching field, and then you would still need 15 graduate credits in the teaching field no matter what. So that you could conceivably have the 24 plus the 15, 30. You'd have to have 39 in the teaching field, so that we cannot have a situation in which faculty go and get that extra one that allows them to get to 27 graduate, like say in English. You get a master's in English, you have your 24 you have your 24 graduate credits. You get one more course or 3 more credits in English, and then you spend the other 4 classes or 12 credits in teaching, and you get teaching classes. which count towards graduate credit. But those aren't going to count because they're not in the teaching field. So when we have faculty who are out there going and getting graduate credit courses in teaching and education, none of those are going to count towards promotion at all.
I believe this is correct. You'd have 15 hours of graduate hours that must be within the teaching field, and then you have 9 additional ones that don't have to be in the teaching field. Right. I mean, we haven't changed the VCCS 29. This has not changed. Right. Not all of those extra hours, because you only need 15 additional ones to get to I believe to the 27 graduate semester hours. So you have other credits that don't have to be in the teaching field. Right. But as long as you have the 27 graduate semester hours in the teaching field, that meets the requirement. Well, it says master's plus 24 graduate semester hours obtained subsequent to the master's. Well, this is saying subsequent to the master's. They don't. They don't. And you're going down. If you can move up to the next box, you can see as you go through the rank, and maybe I'm misunderstanding, but I'm trying to understand your point here. So if you go down go up, if you will. So here in this cell, for an instructor, you have to have 18 graduate semester hours in the teaching field. And so you're building upon that. And then the next one has your master's plus 24 graduate semester hours obtained subsequent to the master's. And then that ends up being between 18 and 27 is 9. Yes. 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 That's the point I was trying to make. And where are you coming in? I'm sorry. Which one are you seeking promotion? Which rank? Right. The initial appointment is a little different. It depends on, you've got experience, you got full-time community college experience. I see. Well, that is the instructor. So when you come in, you're an instructor. That's the first. Well, depending on how many credentials you have. I'm sorry. If you come in as an instructor, then that first place is going to be instructor. The first rank is instructor. Right. Right. Yes. All right, so we go back up to the instructor. All right, wait a minute. Let's go up, all the way up to the top where we have instructor. Okay, you come in as an instructor. Okay. Okay, so, but that was a master's. So this would say master's plus 24 graduate semester hours obtained, and then you have to have 27 graduate semester hours in the teaching field. Is that in addition to your master's? Okay, well, this one says that you have to, this is once you've received your master's, it doesn't count towards the next requirement. So this is master's plus 24 graduate semester hours obtained subsequent to the master's. Okay? Does that... If you have a master's degree, if you have a master's degree and you don't have any other credentials outside of the master's degree, then you have to have 24 graduate semester hours obtained subsequent to the master's, and you still need to have 27 graduate semester hours in the teaching field. That's in addition to the degree. That does not come in. No. Right. Master's done, accomplished. You still need it. It's no 27. 27 have to be within the teaching field. Right. Right. Yes. Right, right. Right, but you have to, in the teaching field is within the discipline taught here at Germanna. You have to have 27. Yeah. Yeah. That would, you can't include that. That's separate. You get your master's degree, that's done. Okay? Any other field? Yeah.
Because there's no reason why the additional credits have to be in the if you already have enough credits in the But the way that this is saying is that only the ones in the teaching field make it in the you could take the 24 additional graduate credits in teaching, in education. None of them count. If you have a use of the that's not right.
No, the 24 do not have to be in the teaching field. The total 27 is, right. We can reword that to make it a little clearer, but you're exactly right. The 24 do not have to be in the teaching field. Okay. All righty. Whew, that's the first point. Yeah. Right. Exactly. So, yeah, it's, and it does open or remove some of the constraints because, you know, while you have to have the 27 graduate hours.
All graduate hours are earned. Right, and they have to be at the teaching. And with any course you're taking at the graduate level, be valuable if you're an educator. Yes. Because yes, in fact, becoming a better educator. Right. That doesn't mean you need to take, 3,000 credits in French in order to teach French. But we got that T-shirt done. So that's this is the place where we had leeway. This is where we had leeway to remove a constraint or a limitation. And that was to open up the degree and not require that the degree be within the teaching field.
Still confused.
All right, well, we'll reword and we will, we'll reword and make sure that it's clear. So that's good feedback.
Maybe we need to revisit it after it's been, with examples, after it's been worked on to clarify the question.
You can do
so
that, absolutely.
In our next meeting, we all know what we're talking about.
Yes.
If we're talking across purposes here.
Well, we have different interpretations of different words, and so we just need to have the same interpretation. So we will put together some examples.
Exactly.
And I think that's a great idea, Sunita. So we will do that, and then now you know why we're having a third reading. Okay. All right. Something that hasn't changed is that the only degrees and graduate hours earned from a regionally accredited institution will count towards promotion.
Most of yours said recognized, and then Dr. Davis with Sachs corrected me a few minutes ago, so I changed it to regionally, and that will satisfy Sachs. So
that's an
What do you
amendment.
mean by regional?
You want accredited, not accredited.
Why don't Dr. Davis explain that?
No, because we have, when I've done my PhD in India, but it gets accredited by a national organization.
Right, so it goes
You
through.
have a unique situation.
In your case, it goes through a transcription service.
Yeah,
which
but that's
they're-
not regional.
That goes through a transcription service. That transcription service looks at your transcript and verifies and says this is equivalent to a degree from a regional American, a regionally accredited United States university. And so it doesn't, technically it's not regional itself, but that transcription process that the service that you pay for to do does validate it as regionally accredited.
So the word regional is a little misleading.
Regionally, that's a term that's in higher
it's a
education and
SAS.
Americanized education. That means one of the 6 regional accreditors versus a occupational accreditor or some other specific accreditor. That's the right. That's the standard. That's the gold standard.
Right.
Is you being regionally accredited.
So,
Laura, your comment, go ahead.
so I understand Suniki's concern, because if I were looking at this but thinking of going to get my graduate degree in India, I would say, oh, I can't. Couldn't there be some clarification or equivalent, or, and I don't know the language from the accreditors, but that explains what you said?
Learned from or transcribed by.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
Yes.
you could add
We
that.
can reword that.
You could add some language like that, sure.
Okay.
I'm having a heart attack.
You already got your
5 years.
They're not going to take it away from you.
No, it's not SACS accredited institutions.
SACS would be the accredited, you would have the accredited institutions, right? You want the EB at the end of it? Yeah, but it says accredited.
Accredited.
Thank you, English professor.
It should be accredited.
Credited, okay.
Okay, here's another one that removes some limitations on us. It used to be that the faculty member had to be fully qualified at the time of application for promotion. And we're broadening that to be that the faculty member must be fully qualified for the promotion by the effective date of the next contract period. And that would be August 16th through May 15th for teaching faculty, and it would be July 1st through June 30th for administrative and professional faculty. So what this does, let me give you an example. If somebody is putting in for promotion in December or January, and they don't plan to get their degree, it won't actually be earned until the spring, end of the spring semester, then that can go in as a contingency to say that it will be earned, and then we'll follow up. Yeah, we'll follow up, and if it isn't earned within that time frame before the begin date of the next contract, then the award will be rescinded. So this is really good news, because I know this has been a roadblock for a long time.
Well, because if you're earning a doctorate and you need to go defend your dissertation, when do you do that? In the summer, when classes have stopped.
Right.
So this makes a lot of sense.
Right, I
Thank you.
figured there wouldn't be a whole lot of discussion on that one. Okay, since our first reading, we have reviewed the promotion process, looked at a different one, review process. And in the past, it has gone up, all promotions have gone through the promotion/multi-year appointment advisory committee. And as you know, with promotions, it's pretty clear cut, almost clear cut, looking at the BCCS 29. It's basically interpreting BCCS 29. So what we're going to do is we're going to have, we got feedback from several for an appeals process. So what we're going to do is have them go through the cabinet, as I mentioned during the last reading, and if someone is not happy with the decision, then the faculty member can appeal to Human Resources within 3 business days of the decision. And then the multi-year appointment advisory committee will review the promotion criteria, and they will give their recommendations to the president, and then the president will have the final say-so. So it does incorporate an appeals process.
Sorry, everyone.
It's okay.
The couple things here, looking at the 2.6B, it says adhering to GCC policy and VCCS policies. If the goal is to primarily focus on what the VCCS 29 has, I'm not sure what the purpose of having the GCC policy is. I mean, it kind of implies that along the way we might actually add something to it, rather than just simply following what the VCCS says. And then the other concern was on 2.7C. If the point of the appeals process is, if the first part of the process goes to the president and the cabinet, and that's been discussed, why would the appeals process then go back to the president?
Because VCCS, in their wise wisdom, says that the president has ultimate authority in final decision. So we literally put that right there because that's what they told us. Because we can't go to the chancellor. He's not going to hear your appeal. And our boards won't. I mean, nobody in our boards will be qualified to do that.
They're doing more of pushing back to the colleges the final decision making, which is actually a good thing. It gives more power to the college. And we have a newly created alternative dispute resolution policy. It's still in its final phases, although it's been considered adopted. But it used to be grievance from the grievance process for faculty members, that it would go to the state board for final decision. And in this particular policy, they are deferring back to the colleges, and the presidents will have the final say-so.
I need to go back, though, because it is important under 2.6 that it adheres to GCC criteria. Otherwise, why do we have any criteria? I mean, it has to be from a regionally accredited institution. And all we did was further explain how the graduate hours are calculated. And that actually is VCCS terminology. We just made sure it was in ours. It's not as though ours is on top of theirs. It's supposed to help clarify it.
It's always within the confines of the VCCS policy.
Yeah, it has to be both. It's both. But if you notice, your package includes very little to apply. So the basis of your application is simply, it's actually coming up, has a lot less that's reviewed. So it's only based on the information that is asked for. So it takes away the extraneous things. We don't need a portfolio. We don't need your awards. We don't need, other things. We don't need recommendation letters. So it's not based on bias. It's based on the fact of the 29 chart.
That would be my concern, is it's sitting there saying these dramatic policies that we might one day apply that.
Then we'd have to go through leadership to expand that.
Okay. Any other questions on promotion? We appreciate your feedback. We're going to go back and we're going to come up with some examples as it relates to the VCCS 29, the degrees earned and the graduate hours earned, and it'll be available for our third reading so we can clarify. I think examples were a good idea. Thank you, Sunita.
And I would really like if it's disseminated to us at the faculty meeting, because what if I were not part of this discussion?
Right.
It
goes back to the faculty senate and the department chair. You guys will go out to your constituents and get feedback.
So, yeah.
But it takes a while, right?
Yeah.
It takes a while before it goes.
But
We're getting the next one.
we'll send out the examples ahead of time before we have the third reading. I hear what you're saying.
And it'll eventually get to the fact.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Okay, I'm going to move on to the multi-year appointments, and not a lot of changes to this policy. We had asked for a little bit of clarification on the review package requirements and the letter of support that's required. The letter may be written by the faculty member's department chair, supervisor, or a colleague. However, career and technical education faculty, they are required to have a letter of support from a community partner. Okay, so tried to clarify that.
That was the only thing that came out of the discussions with department and faculty. So that was the only change we made to that document.
All right, so any questions or comments about multi-year appointments? Policy? Okay, I think we can just have a second reading for that. All in favor to adopt the multi-year appointment policy as read?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, this will be effective for our next multi-year appointment process period. All right, thank you, and I appreciate your feedback. Oh, got a question.
For the promotion and multi-year committee coming up, we use this policy for the multi-year. What about promotion?
No, we're going to use, this will be for the next one. We're already in the middle of this.
So this doesn't apply to current?
It doesn't apply to current, but what we will do, and we need to send out a notice. Good point. We're going to send out a notice that if there is someone who is going to get their degree before the contract year, but not at the point of application, we're going to open that up so that people can apply for the promotion.
Even though it's past.
Right, even though it's, yes. So if you know of anybody, yes, we need to send that out soon. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Thank you.
As mentioned here on the agenda, we'll have a tabletop exercise at the next Leadership Council at the end of February. Chief Branch and Sergeant Anderson will be leading that, and really want to emphasize attendance at that. Dr. Belkson wants to make sure that all members of the Leadership Council undergo that training. And because of the nature of that training, it will not be live streamed because we'll be discussing some sort of internal Germana security kinds of things. And so we don't want to put that on the website or have it live streamed to external folks. With that being said, I'll open it up for a lightning round. We don't necessarily need to go around the room, but if there are things that you that are important and that you want to share, feel free. As the host, I'll go first. We are on the precipice of embarking on FY21 budget season. We'll be sending out the budget call for non-personnel next week. It'll follow the same process as last year. The spreadsheets will go to the cabinet, and then they will disseminate them to the unit managers as appropriate. If you did it last year, it'll be the same kind of thing. If you're asking for additional money, there'll be a place on the spreadsheet where you'll note your rationale, and you'll need to tie it to one of the institutional goals for that rationale piece. So it'll be pretty self-explanatory as it was last year. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Dr. Young.
I just would like to use this opportunity to introduce
I don't think it's on. Unmuted. That's the bad one that I swapped out.
Hello?
Here, Lori's got one behind you.
Hello? Okay, I would like to use this opportunity to introduce our new Center for Teaching and Learning, the coordinator for Center for Teaching and Learning, Dr. Scott Ackerman. He's here just a little bit over a month, and I'm going to take him to this microphone to him, and so he can introduce himself, and you guys can put the name and the person together.
So first of all, I just want to thank everyone who's come by to introduce themselves and made me feel welcome, wanted, and all of that great stuff. I come from a teaching background. My degree is in history, and I've taught at Lehman College and Bronx Community College. And when I was coming back to Virginia, it was a mission of mine to find a place that sort of replicated the environment I found at Bronx Community College, and I'm thrilled to have found that wonderful and welcoming environment here at Germanna. So I want to thank everyone who's stopped by or emailed to introduce themselves, and I look forward to working with you all. So thank you.
Where are you located?
Oh, right. Sorry. Distance Learning Suite, which is if you go towards the library and over to the left, and it is office 111. It's got my name on the door, which is still a little bit mind unnerving to me. And my email is sackerman@germanna.edu. I have not memorized my phone number yet.
I just want to let everybody know the Research and Writing Symposium is coming up, and if you want to see those papers, you go to the library homepage, and it's on the library homepage, a link to the website that shows that. I also want to let everybody know, I put this on everybody's table. This is the VIVA. This is Virtual Library Virginia. It's a consortium we belong to. Because of this consortia, we get the fabulous databases we have for our students. And it's because now we pool our funds. So some of it we opt into, some of it the VCCS pays for, but because of them we're able to get really good deals and we can afford a lot of it. And I tell you, as a community college, we have some really fantastic databases. And then just so you know, last semester we had 55,000 students pass through the gates, go into the library at Fredericksburg. And then over 13,000 at FA at Locust Grove. So we're doing really good with the students.
All right, here we go. Mark Haynes and I are our department are collaborating to put on the Student Leadership Day that you guys might have seen. Dr. Gullickson put an email about Tuesday night, I believe, Tuesday afternoon it went out. We're going to host a Student Leadership Day. We've got business leaders coming in. We're going to be talking about leadership all day. We're inviting students. It's invite only, but we need your help nominating students who you think are showing good leadership skills in the classroom. In Dr. Gullickson's email, there is a link to it. I think it's a Google Doc that we've created. So you can see what students are already listed on there. So if you have some names, please nominate students. We're looking to get we want about 50 people to attend, knowing not everyone's going to be able to, so we definitely want more names than that. So go back and look. If you don't see the email and you need it again, just let Mark or I know and we'll send that out to you.
Ms. Davis.
Good afternoon, everybody. I just wanted to give you a nice little heads up about a nice little gift that's coming our way to Germanna this year. You all may recall last year Atlantic Home Builders built a home, and the way they they pick a 501c3 or a charity to give the profits from the sale of that home to. And the way they increase the profit is by using their vendors, their suppliers, people they call their trade partners, to either donate labor, donate material, donate both, and that increases the profit margin when they go to sell the house. Well, last year we were the beneficiary of $250,000, which went towards Germana Guarantee. And in a first, Atlantic Builders has announced that they're going to build another house for us again this year, 2 years in a row. You'll hear some other exciting details about that once they have their trade partner breakfast and once Mike hits the media with it. So we're very excited about that. And also on February 19th, there will be a very special announcement that I can't go into any details with, but stay tuned. You all will be very, very proud. So that's my announcement.
Yeah, that's
Is that when
fair.
Kim's going to burn her Cowboys jersey?
Out at the Career and Transfer Center, it's application time for students who are getting ready to transfer. We've had a huge influx of students coming in, really having no idea where to start. We're offering not next week, but the following week, all week long, we'll have a bank of computers set up for an application blitz. So if students are coming around saying, I'm thinking about transferring your mind, March 1st is really the big start and deadline for all of our major transfer schools, and that they can come in, they get a lot of hands-on help with the application, the essays, all the nuances. And so please encourage them so they're not behind the curve, that they do actually have to apply. Some of our students think that the guaranteed means they automatically go over to the school of their choice. So, big application blitz coming out of Career and Transfer Center.
I just wanted to quickly talk. First of all, Kim Runberg, I want to thank her for setting up training with Atlantic Builders, which I think helps in this process of keeping them on the Germana train. So thank you for getting that set up. And I know other community partners would love to work with Germana, so we'll keep sending them your way. Also, Mike Sitz put out a message last night. I know you all saw it. Okay, here's the quiz. What's happening October 3rd, 2020? No one knows?
50th.
Yeah, okay. 50th anniversary celebration here on this campus. And we are looking for alumni and Germana love stories. Anita's excited about it. So whoever you know, send us an email. He put a post on Facebook. There's so many people that have fallen in love here, students, tutors. Anne has a list of tutors that love them, faculty members. So we need your help.
Yeah, financial aid love. They've been posting them on Facebook.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So keep them coming our way and keep spreading the word about October 3rd, 2020. Thank you.
Other updates?
Can you hear me? So I just had a couple things. I wanted to make sure that everybody knows that we have an enrollment lab so that we can help students with applications, with their FAFSAs, with setting up their FSA IDs for their FAFSAs, doing registration. That's in room 322 in SP1. So it's on the 3rd floor. And Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5 is when they're there right now. But soon it'll be Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. I will let you guys know when that changes. Sherry is out on medical leave, as most of you know. Hi, Sherry, because she's watching right now. But I want to make her proud by making sure you guys know what she would tell you right now is we're up 4%. So everybody's been working incredibly hard, and you can see it in the numbers. So I just wanted to bring that up. And William, you might be bringing up application and, okay.
Thank you. So I also wanted to make sure everybody was aware of some new activities that recruitment is standing up. We offer weekly campus tours at the Fredericksburg area campus at Stafford. Registration is required so that families who visit have a great experience and we're prepared to show them our best. We are also currently recruiting campus ambassadors to help provide tours at other locations. And these would be, what are these, work study students that would get paid to do this. So we're soliciting this kind of student we need to fill those roles and to help out our team. We're also doing a new application and financial night at Fredericksburg every Monday night from 5 to 6:30 p.m. And this is an opportunity to move someone from the interest phase into the application phase and provide a really good pathway for a prospect to engage with Germanna and get started. Also wanted to share that we have an open house. We do an annual open house in the spring. Save the date for Saturday, April 4th at the Fredericksburg area campus. We're going to be doing additional open houses at some of our regional campuses, but for this campus, Saturday, April 4th is the day. I'll be sharing more information about open house as we get closer. I will be visiting our faculty during the, is it February yet? February 7th program meet, or the department meeting to share information there. But there's a lot of new things happening in terms of recruitment and outreach, so I want to make sure everybody's aware of these opportunities. If you need a student, campus tours are a great option for them to get introduced to Germanna. Thank you.
Sure.
I don't know if it's working. No. It's green. I know. Okay. Take yours.
I just wanted to say that the History, Humanities, Philosophy, Music, and Religion department has made the ultimate sacrifice in losing our co-chair, who has been leading us for 5 years, because now he's the associate dean. We're pretty happy then, and we congratulate him.
Quick update. Garland, Lori Lewis, and I met this morning going over the latest iteration of the LGC replacement building floor plan. We're very close to finalizing that. We think it'll be pretty soon. So that's exciting. Again, that building won't be long before you'll start seeing some activity out there at Locust Grove. Again, the building's supposed to open summer of 2022. So that's 2.5 years away.
Any Stafford news?
No Stafford news as of right now.
Today.
Today.
Next week, maybe?
Perhaps.
Monday.
What would be the best way of looking at that LGC replacement plan? I never had you shared it with some, but
We can share that. Well, no, we actually, no, we're still tweaking it. Once we get those tweaks done, we'll send it back out internally. But we've got we made some tweaks this morning that the architects are going to have to go back and work on. So soon we'll send it to you. Patty would be able to send you the latest one she's got. Should be. Other questions, John?
The Faculty Senate Adjunct Support Work Group held their event on Wednesday. It was a great success. It was an opportunity for all the adjuncts who could make it to show up here and hear a lot of the stuff that the faculty and staff talk about all the time. We actually have a few of our presenters here, Cheryl and Scott and Eric. We're all there, and it was a wonderful event to the point where there's been conversation among the work group that they're going to be trying to put it on twice a year. So starting it up again in fall, and then having it scheduled so that fall and spring, because one of the things the adjuncts really want is more communication, not just from the faculty senate, but from everyone in campus, so that they can feel more engaged in what's going on here.
So ours isn't working, so hopefully you can hear me. Tonight, Student Activities and SGA has this amazing annual event, Winter Formal, Oat Silk Mill, 7 to 10. So we've got some volunteers that are going to help out, and student government's going to be there to help. So we have actually had to increase the number of people going. So that was really cool. So we might actually be looking at somewhere else next year. Along with that, The number of organizations and clubs at Germanna, I have heard is the highest it's ever been. We have 25 organizations and clubs that are all active. We had a club fair, and 20 of those clubs were able to, clubs and orgs were actually able to participate on this campus. So, and then we had ordered 30 pizzas, and they had to get 3 signatures from 3 different tables in order to get 2 slices of pizza. All 30 of those pizzas were gone. So that's it. Along with that, SGA for Valentine's Day is doing a selling of flowers, carnations. They're going to be $1 a piece. We're going to be selling them the 12th and the 13th, preparing for Valentine's Day on the 14th. Cash only, and they're just $1. So if you have your sweetie, or if you just want a flower in your office, please come down to see the activities the 12th and 13th with $1 or 10 of them.
Is that only here?
That is only here, sadly, because we just did it. But if we talk afterwards, we might be able to do something at another campus if you guys can figure out how we can do it. Yeah, I would love to do that.
Okay, thanks.
So, thank you, guys.
Before I forget, I want to welcome Lorraine Pendleton. Lorraine is the new administrative assistant for Dr. Belkson, and has been here starting this month, and has survived month 1. So glad to have her aboard.
Good to be here.
Any other news? Okay, with that, we'll adjourn. See you guys in February.